Welcome, everybody. It's your boy, the Versace Stoner, here at the VSW podcast. And today we are just doing great. But I want to talk about a subject. Sorry, I am turning on the car. Indeed, I want to turn on the air conditioner. It is hot. Okay, so here we go now. I want to talk about something very important. Well, I find important. I think, is a whole month is dedicated to it, and it's mental health awareness. Mental health awareness is very, it's been taboo, I feel, for a long, long time. People, they don't want to be stigmatized. They don't want to be known to have anxiety. They don't want to be known to have depression. They don't want to be known to whatever their issue is. And the fact is, right now in the year, 2022, everybody in their own way is dealing with some sort of mental health issue. Um, whether it's from the pandemic, whether it's not from the pandemic, whether it's stress related, whether it's from price, inflation, whether, whatever it is that's causing stress. I'm seeing, just within friends that have never dealt with anxiety, I've seen anxiety, being displayed, depression being displayed more than I've seen in years, just in smaller circles. And, I think it is becoming more normal to talk about it. I think it should be something we talk about. There's a big shortage of therapists right now, at least in my area, in Massachusetts, and probably around the country, and it's kind of an issue. People don't have people to talk to that they can feel safe, confidential, all that. When you talk to a therapist, it's a safe zone. You can say pretty much almost anything except, whatever. You're not going to harm yourself, harm others, and all that. But they'll take action. But you have a safe zone. With friends, family, it's a safe zone to a point, but sometimes it's not. Sometimes there's a risk. Sometimes, your business gets leaked out. What happens then? How do you deal with that? You're confidential. You tell your friend something, that's bothering you, something at home that's bothering you, something with your girlfriend. And all of a sudden, you're starting to see things, social media, social posts about it, about your issue. What do you do? How do you deal with that? These are the kind of things that are arising because, there's not professional people are going to their friends. And I want to say, I have a lot of good friends. And I hope you all do too, that you can go and talk to. But there is, I've seen some bad friends too that do go behind your back, talk about your business. And those are the people you need to avoid. And sometimes you do make the mistake and go towards them. But, mental health doesn't need to be this dirty word. Everybody is suffering something. Everybody gets sad. Everybody gets bouts of depression. Insomnia is another big thing. Nobody can sleep. Everybody's worried. Everybody's anxious. You got, wars going on across the world. You have famine. You have disease, infection. Then you have, local crisis and all this. You got shootings going on. Sad stuff happening every single day in, the U.S. and it's just bombarded. Well, how do you deal? What do you do? One thing I do personally, I shut the news off. I don't watch the news. If it's important enough, if it's really important, I'll get a notification on my phone. If it's something else than that, I'll see it come displayed, or somebody will bring it to my attention. I try to stay away from the news. I find it to be opinion and just to cause emotion. It's something to either cause fear, anger. There's very little positivity in the news. You get maybe one happy story of, a lost puppy or something, but for the most part, it is all something to drive negative emotions. So I cut that out right away. I can't do it. The other thing I try to do is surround myself with positivity and positive people. It's not the easiest thing to do when your friends and family also suffer from anxiety or depression. But if you battle these things and talk about it together, sometimes you can make light of the subject, make jokes, have a little fun with it. It doesn't always have to be life or death, especially if there's a bunch of you all dealing with the same kind of ailment or issue. If you're all anxious about, a certain thing, making light of the subject might help. I am a big believer in, comedy and humor, even satire. Watching movies back in the day like I don't know, you're worried about, nuclear war, watching something like Doctor Strangelove. It brought light to the subject, made a joke. It was funny. I find that to be helpful in a lot of the times with different, worries and such. That's something that I would personally do. But like I said, the number one thing I think that is important with the mental health is having someone that you can trust, that you can talk to, that you can fall back and call on. I'll tell you right now, I'm that person if you need it. You can find me on social. If you're having an issue, a problem, or something, and you need to talk, you can hit me up on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, wherever. I'll answer you. I'll talk to you. I'll work with you. I mean, and I'm not going to go around repeating. I've done it. Talked to a lot of people. My pages are always open for that. It's something that I never deny someone. If they're having an issue with something serious, um, you know, I'm a serious person with it, and I'll take it seriously. And sometimes, I have been the only person that someone's been able to contact about something and talk it out, and I would talk them through it and talk them down. And that's a lot about what, mental health, how to deal with it is, talking someone down. How do you get someone that's way up here on their anxiety level down, back down to baseline? And there is ways to do it. Now, also, yes, I am a believer in medical marijuana for certain ailments and certain things, but there is ways of doing it without any substance whatsoever. You can calm somebody else down and yourself down. Even yourself. I've had panic attacks many a times, and I've had to bring myself down. I've been in strange situations, weird places. My breathing gets faster and heavier. It's harder to breathe, harder to talk. I'm clammy, and I just don't like it. I'm very uncomfortable. My stomach starts to bother me, and I can't focus. I get dizzy. What do? How do I, bring myself back down to here? And sometimes I have to, sit down somewhere, close my eyes for a little bit, deep breathe it out, kind of think about something else, something that's gonna happen, something else, that's going on, something positive, something happy in my life. Just focus on that, and then, then I can, kind of just get past that little bump moment and continue, to the next step. Other times it is brutal, and it takes hours to get through anxiety and panic attacks. I don't know if any of you guys suffer from them. If you do, I do feel bad because they are some of the worst things to deal with, especially when they come out of nowhere and you don't know where they're coming from. But having a friend to talk to also does help. Picking up the phone, calling a friend, saying, hey, buddy, I'm not feeling so well. Something's kind of bothering me. I'm feeling a little nervous. You want to have a little conversation. You want to meet up for coffee. You want to take a ride. You want to go for a ride. You want to go, here, check the, go and talk. I'll do it all the time. I'll go for rides with friends. Even 20-minute rides, just taking a walk, talk, having a good time. And, just relaxing and de-stressing. De-stressing from the day, de-stressing from the, the night, whatever it might be. And sometimes, I'll go like a 9 o'clock ride with a friend just to get out, get away from whatever is going on, whatever I'm doing, and just, talk. And it works. Like I said, I'm lucky. I have good friends that are honest and do, keep things confidential. And I do suggest everybody try to find that person if you can. I know it's hard, and if you can, like I said, and you really are struggling, please, I urge you, reach out to me. We can talk. There's been a lot of, negativity in the news lately, a lot of bad things happening, and it doesn't make, everybody gets sad, like I said, but then you throw in these tragedies that happen, and loss of life, and innocence lost. It bears on you day after day, and the depression can settle in. You can get sad. You can get, lack of motivation, lack of wanting to do anything, lack of wanting, even wanting to live sometimes. And this can all be, I hate to say it, but it's kind of been getting a little bit normalized sometimes, to have these kind of bouts. I'm not saying that it's normal to be, constantly depressed, but I feel like in the last, 5 years, I've seen it recently, even more. People go through bouts of depression. It could even happen with, change of weather. But it's important to keep aware and be aware of when these things are happening, how it's affecting you, and what's causing it. Is there a cause that you know of? Is there something, a change that you've made that's making you feel unhappy or making you feel more nervous? Or is it something that's out of the blue? Or the third option is that it's something subconscious. And sometimes, during the subconscious, you might not know what is bothering you. You have to think deep. You might have to talk. You might have to look into the future. It might be something that could happen a year from now that this is eating away at the back of your head. And again, this is something that you and a friend, or you and someone that's confident with, can talk about, or you can try to work it out with. You don't have to do alone. You don't have to be alone. I'm telling you right now, you don't have to do any of these battles alone. If you're struggling out there, yes, therapy is great, and I urge people if they needed to get it. But if you can't get it because it's not available right now, reach out to a friend, reach out to somebody, and just talk to them. And most 75% of the time, I'll say they understand what you're going through. 90% of the time, they're like, they're cool with it. But a lot of people are going through the same thing. Is what I'm trying to say. So I'm getting a little tongue tied there. A lot of people are going through the same issues. You wouldn't believe how common. Even though we think our issue is so personal and it's like, oh my God, dreading, you wouldn't believe how common they are and how many other people might fear the same fear or might have the same worry or whatever it is. So there's a lot that you can do with the power of just not yourself, having a second person or a group. And that's all. That's all I really got. Stay up, stay happy. Just know you don't have to do it alone. Like I said, there's daily battles that people are fighting out there within themselves, and they don't have to be alone. Like I said, reach out to a friend, reach out to me if you need to. I'm always around. You can hit me up on any of my social medias, and I'll reach back to you. We can talk things out. I never liked, being someone that deals with a lot of anxiety on a normal daily basis. I've learned a lot of tricks and tips on how to deal with it. And like I said, I can share some knowledge and wisdom, and maybe it can work for you if you're suffering. Maybe it can't. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a professional. I'm just, I'm a podcaster. But I do know with this industry and wrestling industry and podcasting industry, there is a lot of stress. You have the stress of performing. You have the stress of negativity. You have the stress of, success. There's a lot of stress. And with that, there can become ways of coping with them. That's what I've learned to do. And like I said, I'm never afraid to share my knowledge of what I know, what I've learned. But I wish everybody a happy Monday, happy Memorial Day. Stay up, stay lit. Have a good night. Versace Stoner